Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. We got Code Empress.
Hey.
We got Uncle Uto.
Yeah, peace.
And of course, myself, Ifiak, or Iffy for short. We're going to talk about how you say it?
Polygamy.
Polygamy.
Polygamy. We're going to talk about polygamy.
Yeah.
So, kick back, relax, and we're about to dive into this thing.
There goes a sight, there goes a sight. Now there goes a sight from my soul. There goes a sight from my soul.
Welcome back, welcome back. So, the topic is polygamy, or poly for short. And we have these two amazing people that's going to share their thoughts. But for me, since I'm not quite experienced in what polygamy is, I can share my little 2 cents on it of what I've heard. Polygamy, which means multiple. Is that correct?
Right.
Multiple, having multiple. So one person has multiple, or is it two people? Both people have multiple on both ends.
It's normally
No,
a
it's
husband that has multiple wives.
Can a wife have multiple husbands?
I'm sure that they
a
can.
wife,
I've never
but
heard of it.
It never have heard of it. It would not work.
Okay,
But a wife could have, a husband and wife can have what is called an open relationship,
okay,
which means they can sleep with other people.
okay. So now, is polygamy all about sex, or is it more than that? Is it more than sex?
Normally, polygamy is what I get from polygamy is more like building an empire. You know, for a man that is responsible of taking care of these multiple women, they all have, let's say he has 5 wives. They're all bringing in income together. Each of these 5 women bring in different talents. So as the kids are being brought up, everyone has a role of building this family unit up, and they build this empire together.
Okay. Yeah, because I mean, when I hear polygamy, which it sounds like how you described it, it sounds great. But why is it that in some relationships, nobody wants to share? Because that's like a sharing entity, right?
That is a sharing entity.
Okay, so why is it that most relationships there is like a forbidden energy that that person should not be shared? They want to be isolated with the person.
Well, see, this is why I thought that this would be a great topic, because I believe that we live in a society now to where we have the side chicks, are the women that are willing to be the mistress or whatnot. And then we have wives that even know that their husbands are cheating. I mean, there's babies being brought up through these relationships. So I'm just thinking, with the game, you can't get mad at the players in the game. We got to get mad at the hoe, which would be the man.
Okay.
But with this being said, let's say the man has a wife and the man has a girlfriend. There's a child that is brought up out of this relationship, even though he's married, but he has a whole nother woman over here. Instead of this woman being proud to be the side chick, they should really just think about it as an investment of like running an empire. Like, let's go ahead and build a family unit together. We can combine these incomes, teach our children, because it's the kids that's lacking in the situation. When you have a woman that's having a baby out of marriage, it's normally that child that is neglected.
Okay.
So instead of being the side chick like these women like to be, as women, we are accountable. We allow the men to play games. We allow the men to cheat. If we were to be more stern, either you allow your man to cheat, and you look at the bigger picture as far as partaking in polygamy.
Okay.
Especially when there is children brought up. Let's go ahead and build this empire up. Let's go buy this estate. Let's get this big house. Let's get these kids together. Let's build unity. But we also need the correct man or the correct king that would be willing to take care of these women.
Okay.
Mentally and emotionally. And a lot of these men that play, that are the hoes, they're not even mentally or emotionally capable of taking care of these women. They physically taking care of them, but these women are taking care of their own homes. And he's just coming over for the night just to be physical with them when
Right.
there's really nothing more than that. And then he goes home to the wife.
Okay. Uncle, you have anything to chime in to say?
Yeah. Well, I think from the onset we have to establish the reason why. The one question that you asked was, why are people not open to it?
Okay.
And why are people so conservative about the relationship having to be a monogamy instead of a polygamy? Number one, the law forbids it in the United States. Religious exceptions, like places like Utah, or other religious reasons, that trumps. Religious exceptions trumps the law of the state. So if it's something that your religion prescribed, the state cannot interfere.
Is that isolated to that one state, or if you live in Utah and you have that where it trumps it, can you now move to Colorado and still carry that principle?
I haven't investigated that, but that's something that could be investigated to see if that's possible, if it's jurisdictional, or if it's just relegated to that area.
Okay.
So that's the one thing that is there. And the other thing that is there is human beings. We beings built the way we are. A lot of us we want what is ours. So we don't want to share things that are emotions. It's because there's a lot of emotions involved when relationship between a man and a woman.
Okay.
I totally agree with you on that. I mean, because me personally, I don't think that I can be in a polygamous relationship. But I'm just saying that the world and the society that we live in, we have lots of women that are comfortable with being the side chick. They know that this man is married, or they know that this man is taken, but they still entertain this man. What do they get out of it?
Well, and then does that same thing apply to a woman that's already in a relationship, whether she's married and has a side guy?
I mean, it goes that way.
I mean, I'm just
but
asking.
I'm just sitting here talking about as far as the women out here, because like I said, once again, as women, we are accountable for our actions. So I'm just saying, if the wife is at home with the husband and she knows that the husband is a cheater, but she's comfortable, she's the one being taken care of. There's another woman out here, and let's say the husband and the side piece or the mistress has been interfering or engaging for, let's say, 5-6 years. There's a child involved. These women know about each other, even though they might not engage, because of course it is the selfishness. This is my husband. But if you're allowing your husband, and it's not that we allow, but at some point we got to be accountable for what is in our environment. So if you're allowing your husband and you know that he's still engaging with this woman, and sometimes either you're going to just sit there and walk away, but if you're going to stay, then you might as well go ahead and bring this woman in.
Go ahead.
Yeah, the main purpose is what you said from the onset. It was to build a community that is strong, but it needs a man that is strong in the middle. And this man has to be able to manage the emotions of women, because women...
But see, that's what us women fail to realize, that some of these men are not even capable to handle us emotionally or mentally.
So, but we're talking about two different things, though. I understand what you're saying. If this is a concept that already exists, why don't we allow it to coexist with the traditional marriage? And that's what you're saying, because it's already happening. Men are having multiple women, including their wives. Mm-hmm. So it's a very deep topic, Okay, because
It takes maturity for this, you know?
yes, but you have a lot of there's a lot of things that's implicated, which at one point you have to start looking at, does it affect the fabric of society? Because a lot of those relationships are dealt in secrets. Okay, and when you do things in secret, a lot of things are not going to be as strong. See, so
But that's why I was saying, even these children that are brought up in these
Yeah.
type of relationships, they're the one being neglected without having the father in the home.
right,
Yet the father is still coming over
Right.
to engage in sexual
Right.
intercourse with this woman, but
Right.
he is not there financially for this woman. He's not there mentally or emotionally. And us as women, we are allowing this type of behavior from men to just come in and knowing that they have a wife or girlfriend, and we're still engaging with these individuals, thinking that and I hear, and I used to hear this all the time. Evidently, the wife ain't doing what she needs to do at home,
Yeah.
or he wouldn't be out here like this.
yeah. I see if that's the only thing that matters. That's just a small part of the whole dynamic of a relationship. It's
But
not.
they have the concept of thinking that they could steal this husband from this wife, and 9 times out of 10, the husband's not gonna lead a wife.
Yeah.
You're just allowing to be the player in the game, and you're allowing him to come over and releasing you whenever he wants to. But I'm just saying, as us as women, we got to want more for ourselves instead of just allowing this man to come over and releasing us, especially when there's kids involved, that, make this man accountable. Is he really there for you mentally and emotionally, or is it just all physical?
Okay, so and I hear both of you guys, which it makes sense. My thing is, okay, kids seems like it's an excuse for it to be, if a man is actually with another woman. So he has a wife, but it's with another woman, then all of a sudden the kid is involved. So let's remove the kid aspect of it. Let's look at the real. So there's no kid involved, but this man is interacting with another woman. So however that's defined, right? That is still poly, right? Because he has a wife, but he's interacting, whether they're just talking, or whether they go shopping, whether they go eating, or whatever, right? That's still a relationship. That's
It is.
outside of the marriage.
But what I'm saying, though, a lot of men don't have that respect or the mindset to sit here and let his wife know, or to let the other woman know that this is what it is.
So basically, a man is caught if a child is involved, but he's not caught if there's no child involved.
A
I'm
man
just
can
trying to
get caught
understand.
either way.
Okay.
But when there is children involved, we deal with this on a day-to-day basis, that a lot of kids are brought up into this type of relationship because the side piece is trying to get him from the wife, thinking that she could take him.
Okay.
So she's going to try to entrap him with the child.
Okay.
So what Empress is talking about is the issue of disclosure. You want it to be out in the open instead of being in secret. Is that what you're saying?
What I'm sitting here saying is we're living in a society that women are okay with being the side piece. There's married women that's allowing their husband, knowing that their husband have multiple women out here.
Yes.
Why not build a fucking empire? Why not come together and build up the communities and bring these kids up and bring us as a unit? That's what I'm talking about,
So-
bringing a unit.
So now you go, like the last election, you go down and you introduce an ordinance into legislation. If you propose it to the legislatures and tell them to change the law to allow polygamy to be a part of American culture, and you campaign for it. You might not get it done the first time or the second time, but at one point, if you can't get the legislatures to do it, then you go down and you get signatures. And I think there's a qualifying number that you have to have for the Secretary of State or whoever to allow it to go into the ballot.
Yeah.
as an amendment, as an ordinance. So you have people when they go to vote, you spend money to promote it and have people vote so that you could change the laws to make this a part of America. Because now, if you do it outside of religious exceptions, it's a crime.
But what I'm saying, though, I mean, most definitely we would have to get it legalized. But I'm just saying, as part of a human being here in America, looking at the pros and cons of a polygamy relationship,
Yes.
you know, we are mentally not thinking of the bigger picture because it's me, selfish of what I can get from this man, or the man sitting here using 5 different women.
Right.
You know, that man should be like, you know what? I got 5 women. Mm-hmm. We are about to go get this house paid off. We can go buy another house. Let's do it like the Mexicans. You know what I'm saying? Let's go ahead. And then eventually all y'all will have your own home.
Okay. So let's
But it's the man being responsible and the woman being on board.
role play for 2 seconds.
Okay.
All right. So I'm a man. I'm a married man. All right.
Okay.
I have my wife, and I see you, and I come up to you and I said, hello, how are you? You're like, I'm fine. I'm like, I just want to be upfront to you right now. I have a wife, and I'm happily married. But I think I would like to get to know you, and maybe bring you on board and bring you, where we can do things. We can do like, husband and wife type stuff. How do you feel about that?
Well, I've been offered that before.
Okay.
But I mean, with me, like I said, I guess I would be more of the selfish one, that I wouldn't be able to share my man. But I wouldn't sit here and deal with a husband or a man that is also entertaining other women. So me personally, I'd rather just go ahead and build my own empire by myself instead of me sitting here dealing with the lies or dealing with multiple wives.
Okay.
But the reason of it is just that we have these women out here today that are okay with being the side chick.
Well, the thing is that they're doing it in secret, and there's a fulfillment that it's a
That
rush
they
that they
get,
get
yeah.
from doing that. They're not doing it openly.
Right, but it's not helping them. It's not helping the children that they're bringing into this world.
True.
The man is only getting his physical pleasure off to get released or whatnot, but he's not really giving that woman nothing.
When they're not being responsible, in that aspect, sure, that's what happens. But the thing is, at the end of the day, there's an understanding that fulfills an inner emptiness, within both people. If the man has a wife and he's over here having fun with this other woman who knows that he has a wife,
Yeah,
they both
and just waits until he has time to come and visit her. Whenever it is.
It fulfills an emptiness. They will take whatever they can get.
Right. So then at this point, if you're allowing that, then why not build this polygamy relationship?
Well, you got to change the laws first.
But it don't even have to be laws of actually being marriage. It can be that they all just living together as one big happy family.
Well, I know that some people are trying that and they're doing that. In different countries, that's automatic.
Yeah.
It's done. You know. However, if we're talking about just this state of Colorado,
No, United States.
Or-
Let's just
or-
say United States.
well, Utah though, Utah.
Well, Utah brought in the Mormons because that's more of a Mormon type of tradition.
It's
It's
a
a
religious
religious type of
exception.
tradition
Okay.
of polygamy.
Or some Muslims.
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 Well, Muslims, I haven't really looked into that because it's never been something that I looked at in the past. So, however, I know Muslims. I'm not sure if Muslims can do it in United States because United States laws are based on the principles of the Bible.
Okay.
So
I'm not really even just bringing up the laws. I'm just saying within your
discrimination.
morals, within whatever
Yeah.
you're allowed within. There's a lot of people that don't even get married,
It's
but
hard
they're
to-
common law or whatnot. I'm
But-
just
Yeah.
saying if a person has 5 different women and all 5 different women know each other. And this happens.
Yeah,
This happens.
It happens.
It sounds good, but it's hard, you know.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, look at the bigger picture, because y'all all still want this one man after he has 5 women. Why not build one big old compound, a family, you know what I'm saying, and build a fucking empire.
So,
make some money.
So what you're saying is this, is disregard the laws.
Don't we do it all the time anyway? You know, hey.
Disregards the human affections. If this is happening, just bring it in the open and just do it.
Exactly.
See,
that's what I'm saying. It would be the only person's personal choice, though, is what I'm saying. I'm not saying for everyone that this would go in everyone's household, but I'm just saying the new norm. We got
I have a suggestion that I think that it might work out if you just take the pain to go through the right way to do it. Okay? If you're going to do that, instead of doing it in a clandestine way, where you're doing it underneath the carpet, well, we're not married, but we're living together doing all this, and then procreate all this chaos, because now you have multiple women that have one man that they getting all the emotional needs from, okay, and with children involved who needs that same person's attention, you're bound to have some issues.
We already have issues now without it, though, and that's what I'm saying. We have this one man that has 5 different families, maybe still sleeping with all his 5 different baby mamas.
But if you do it the right way, then you at least have some support when you have to take certain action that require restraint, that requires and some kind of demand.
But what I'm saying, though, there's people already doing this today, even though it might not be legal.
I'm hearing you.
We have women out here today that will sit here and still deal with whatever this man is bringing, even though he is married.
But they're living in different houses.
They are living in different houses.
Okay, you bring them all in the same house, they're 24/7 together. You have a different issue.
I'm just saying, look at the bigger picture. Because this man is still, if he ain't coming home tonight, he's at somebody else's house. I'm just saying, coming together, bringing the kids together, because the wife's going to get taken care of. Regardless. Hands down. Right, exactly. That child, that family is going to be taken care of.
You said the word empire, right?
Yeah.
Most women are not built or designed to be an empire at all. They might talk the talk, but they're far from walking that walk.
Well, that's the problem. Everybody wants to be kings and queens, but they ain't playing these roles.
So a man recognizes a queen or a woman or an empress or a woman that can build an empire. A man knows that. So if he's committed to a woman who has that aspect, that entity in herself, and he meets somebody else that has the exact same, he is wise enough, right, to be able to communicate, saying, "Hey, honey, love, we need her over there, and here's why," and can lay down some stuff, and it has nothing to do with sex. It has nothing to do with babies or anything like that. But most people are not qualified to be an empire connector. They're not. So they're just a side piece. They're just a side piece, and that's that. If they bring a baby in, they bring a baby in, but that's still not, they don't qualify to be part of this.
But that's what I'm sitting here saying. For these side pieces that are okay to be side pieces, they might want to be somebody's wife. You know what I'm saying? Sit here and look at someone that's going to take care of you mentally and emotionally and just not sexually. We should want more out of life. And if you grow up, and these girls are growing up to be okay to be side pieces.
And who has been a role model for these women, for these girls? Who has been?
Man, society. Okay. It is crazy.
Okay. So until somebody steps up to the plate and become a role model, so these little girls and young women can see, then we can have a conversation. But until then, it's an uphill battle.
This is what brings me here today.
Already.
Yeah.
is the fact that we need to build communities up. It ain't just to sit here and get mad at that woman, and that's the problem. Women can't even respect themselves while they over here sleeping with people's husbands and boyfriends, you know?
How long have you been thinking about this?
I just, man, you wasn't ready for this conversation. Hey, I'm just ready to build the communities up. That's all it is. I'm ready to build the communities up.
So basically, our approach is, we have to now create a forum, an entity where we can now start to, talk to them slowly but surely, because these young girls and young women are influenced by everyday life. When you have, rappers and singers that are, projecting these words.
And it's even for these men out here, these men that want to sit here and have all these kids. They ain't even mentally and emotionally stable to sit here and take care of all these
kids. Yeah, they're just trying to sow their royal oats.
Is that what it is?
Well, yeah.
And then the kids come in as sometimes an accident. They go, oops,
But it's the children that is suffering. Right along with the side piece. It's that family over there that is having issues. That child is shunned.
That's
pretty
much.
I
believe.
Go ahead.
No, I believe the best way to do it is to do the right way.
And what's the right way?
Change the laws.
And then secondly, I would say you have to lead by example. Yeah. You as a woman, you have to walk that walk.
Absolutely.
And you might be walking it alone, but you have to walk it, because then the consistency of you walking that walk, eventually somebody might see it and be like, okay, I like that, because we can talk all day long, but until we are it organically within, which might only help one person instead of changing the world.
I'm just trying to put some game out here to people that are the side pieces, that are dealing with wives, and wives dealing with a husband that is a womanizer, and your husband's a womanizer. Why not bring all these different incomes in, and why don't y'all go buy a freaking estate somewhere and build from there? That's all that I'm saying.
So the words womanizers, cheaters, and all this different stuff is not even needed at all, right, for this very, very second. Because here's the thing. We don't know who we are dealing with. We don't understand what somebody has been through, what their past is. We don't know, So for us to expect for them to be a certain way,
right?
It's an uphill battle. It's an uphill battle. So people are being fulfilled the best they know how.
Yeah.
I'm just saying we should want more for our children. So if we're sitting here having babies out of wedlock or by a married man, why not want more for yourself and your child than to continuously be the side piece that's in secret?
Have you heard this new app, TikTok or whatever?
Yeah, I heard about it.
Okay, so TikTok, I don't know, I've not done TikTok, so I don't know anything about it really, but there are these songs that they play, and people imitate and do, and my thing is when I know, give me a second, please. When parents and kids are doing this TikTok to a particular song that is verbalizing my choice of words, garbage, right?
A lot of it is.
That plants the seed. So how does the change happen? How do we impact and make a difference?
That's why I would sit here and think of this, so the side pieces in them are not stuck on welfare. I'm talking about building up a community. I'm not just sitting here talking about just being selfish or just to come into a man's life. I'm sitting here saying women have to be more accountable for what they want in life. Yeah. Do you want to be on the system the rest of your life? I'm not going to say that all side pieces are on the system, but if you don't have that man coming and engaging you and your child, this is the world that we're living in right now. And if we continue in this pattern, while everyone's okay being the side piece and not worried about being the main or the wife, you need to get with a man that's ready to take care of you as well as he's taking care of his wife. They don't look at it like that.
Well, a lot of these guys are not men yet. A lot of these guys are still boys and immature.
And as women allow these men to come and releasing us, and here we are bringing out children, thinking that we're going to steal this husband from the wife.
Yeah. Well, so we got some work to do. So for you who just listen to all of this, what are your thoughts and what are your opinions? Is this doable? Is it reachable? Is it possible? Because it is a real thing, you know.
Yeah.
It takes a man. It takes a man who is not only respectful, but he has to be responsible. He has to be loving. He has to be gentle. He has to be able to comfort her. You know, so a man's role is not easy, but it can be easy, like you said, communication, right? So if he's able to communicate and bring understanding, most likely the other women will follow. The main woman will understand and will bring in, and there's order in that. There's an understanding with order in that, and he can facilitate that whole thing and make it happen. But until then, you know, what is a young boy? And when I say a young boy, he could be 50 years old. Okay, so because most guys have not transitioned over to being a man yet. So what does a young boy know about order? What does a young boy know about, you know, communication, you know, or community, you know, love? What does he know? Nothing. All he knows and how he has been brought up is to conquer, to have that
destruction.
That 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes of pleasure. That's what most guys know, you know, and that's it. And if he can perform well, he feels okay about himself. He feels, you know, but there's more to that than just that.
And I think it also goes for the man that already knows that he's not satisfied with just one. And if he knows that he needs more than one, then he needs to be honest. Just like you said, effective communication, and let these women know, like, look, I'm looking for 5 wives. This is what I want. But yeah, men lie to get behind closed doors to get in those sheets.
Well, most guys would say, you said men, but I said most guys would say, hey, I want to get married. And that's a lie. Because most guys
they don't
are far from that because they want to get
they
some.
just want the physical.
Right,
Yeah,
right. So they're going to try to speak a language that a girl or a woman might understand and be like, oh my God, yes.
But
I think this is a very deep topic
Yes.
that we have to continue another time.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So share your thoughts, share your opinions on this topic, and we're going to come back and talk more about it.
Yes.
So thank you. Thank you for bringing this up. I like that. Uncle,
All right.
thank you.
Yeah.
You know?
I like it.
Yeah.
Now I got to go do my research.
Okay.
So I could,
Yes.
I can contribute.
Figure
more.
out the laws, right?
Yeah.
We're going to figure out,
Because
you know.
I still believe that's the only way to do it the right way.
For sure.
Is change the law.
For sure. Well, anyway, like and share this video. Subscribe. What else are we missing?
Subscribe.
Yes.
And thumbs up.
Yes.
And
what else?
peace.
And
All
blessings.
hey, we're just having a good time. We love what we do.
Yeah.
So thank you for your time. Thank you for your energy. One love, big hugs, and until next time, peace.
Peace. Already. Yeah, right.
That's awesome. Yay.
I need to go call before I get in trouble.